When people lose their jobs, they don't spend as much money. And when people cut back their spending, it means that restaurants, gyms, shopping centers, malls and movie theaters and other non-essential businesses suffer. And when those goes out of business, that means those people also lose their jobs. And that pattern just repeats itself. Now, when the businesses go under, not only do those workers lose their jobs, but the supplier chains go under. They're impacted and those people lose their jobs. And before you know it, nobody has a job, nobody has money to spend, and nobody has anywhere to spend their money if they had it. We have 36 million people filed for unemployment right now. Many more are not working without a job, all of which are cutting back their spending. We cannot afford to not have more stimulus. How's it going, everybody? I'm Jim Lees. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I cover everything to do with finance, investing, entrepreneurship. So if you like money, then you definitely want to subscribe and help support my channel and help make it grow. And once again, thank you all who helped me reach my goal of 1,000 subscribers. It's a big milestone for me. It's hopefully one of many to come, right? Don't forget to smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm because it really helps out my channel. So we have Democrats pushing strongly for more stimulus, right? And their bill is set to be voted on by the House today. Then you have Trump saying this bill will be dead on arrival. And now we have the Fed coming out and warning us that our economy will be stuck in a multi-year recession if Congress and the White House don't agree to fund more stimulus. Right now, practically everybody is convinced that this bill is not going to go through, right? And beyond the obvious reasons because of what the bill has to offer, but because of Trump's response, right? I mean, he said this bill is going to be dead on arrival. Now you have the Fed saying, we don't have a choice, we need more stimulus money, there's no other option. So what does this all mean, right? Does that mean there's a chance? Are we going to get more stimulus money? Will this bill be passed? Well, let's find out right now. So for those of you who don't know, this bill includes another stimulus check, a second wave of $1,200 checks. But this time you get $1,200 per child instead of the $500 before, and it also applies to immigrants. And for them it's retroactive, which means they would be able to get paid for the last one. That's only if this thing passes. I think it's time for more stimulus money, right? You agree? Time for another check? Time to smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm? I think so. I mean, millions of people still haven't gotten their first stimulus check. Another 3 million people filed for unemployment last week. That's 36 million people total. And a lot of those people aren't getting their checks. I just think it's funny how focused everybody is on their second stimulus when there's so many people who have not gotten their first one. So where we stand with the two parties, the Democrats are pushing strong for more stimulus money right now, and the Republicans, they're not against it, okay? They just think the timing is off. But they are against the bill that's proposed, so they would rather see stimulus in different form. The reason why the Republicans are saying it's too early is because they just pumped $3 trillion into the economy. We have to wait and see the effects. The problem with doing so is we have to reopen America to see how everything functions and to really monitor the effects of that money. We have to see the impact it has. When we first heard the Democrats' proposal for this bill, their official proposal, because there's been plenty of other ones, right? Trump's initial response was, ain't gonna happen, this thing's dead on arrival. That statement really makes it seem like this isn't going to pass. And, is it gonna cause people to lose hope? Maybe. But, then again, look at their proposal. They've been talking about $2,000 monthly stimulus for 6 months, a year, canceling your rent and mortgage. The list goes on, and then they come out with, here's a $1,200 check. So who's really making you lose hope here? And I'm not choosing sides here at all. I stay completely neutral. I'm just pointing out the facts. For the past month, we've been led to believe that $2,000 checks are coming. We have the Emergency Money for the People's Act, the Monthly Economic Crisis Support Act, but Bernie Sanders just released it, $2,000 a month. And there's multiple other ones out there that they just seemed way too good to be true. And guess what? I guess they were, because their official proposal is a $1,200 check. But now you have the Federal Reserve Chair, Jerome Powell, coming out and speaking, and I think it gives us a better shot at seeing something. Powell said, quote, additional fiscal support would be costly, but worth it if it helps avoid long-term economic damage and leaves us with a stronger recovery. This statement just goes against the optimism that Trump and other officials and economists have, suggesting that, our economy will pick up by the end of the year and grow even stronger next year. He also says, records show that deeper and longer recessions can leave behind lasting damage to the productive capacity of the economy. Powell's main concern right now is a domino effect. I think it's more of a snowball effect, right? This is when the consumers, aka 36 million people on unemployment right now, lose their jobs, so they cut back spending. When you cut back spending, then businesses like restaurants, gyms, and shopping centers, like I listed before, those go out of business, and then those people lose their jobs, and it's a snowball effect or a domino effect, whatever you want to call it. It gets worse and worse, and it doesn't stop because it just affects more and more chains. If people don't have money to spend, they can't spend any money. So where we stand right now is that the Democrats and the Republicans have both expressed the need to provide more stimulus and more relief funding, right? However, there's very little overlap of where they come to terms and meet. They can't agree on anything. I mean, they just agree on different things. They believe in different things, but right now the lawmakers and the White House, they're just on different pages. So when this thing does go through the House, it probably will pass only because they're majority Democrats, right? However, after it goes to the House, it has to go to the Senate. And that is where I think this thing is going to be torn apart, and here's why. Now, I know we're also focused on the stimulus checks, but this bill has a lot more to offer that would help the people and help put more money into your pocket than just a stimulus bill. I don't want to get into those reasons right now because this video will become way too long, but if you want, click down below to my other video I just posted. It covers the full breakdown. But one thing I wanted to point out here was $3.6 billion is allocated towards election. What does that even mean? Well, the Democrats have been pushing strong for a mail-in voting service, which means you would literally mail in a piece of paper with your vote on it. But honestly, that's just horrible because there are just way too many things that could go wrong with that. I mean, it's so easy for things to get manipulated, altered, changed, faked and forged, right? Not to mention, why would we spend $3.6 billion on a new system when we already have a system that works just fine, right? I mean, shouldn't we be putting that money towards something else that would help more people right now? Just a thought. Now, when Nancy Pelosi proposed this thing, she did say she's open to negotiations, which isn't really an option. I mean, anything you do regarding, funding and passing bills and everything is always open to negotiation, right? Otherwise, nothing would ever get done. You don't go out and get exactly what you ask for. So when it finally gets to the Senate, they're going to tear this thing apart. They're going to go through it, fine-tooth comb, and read every single word, every single sentence, every single paragraph, and figure out what it all means. That is when they will drastically alter this bill. But you got to keep in mind here, the Democrats are expecting that. They know that's going to happen, which is why you kind of reach for a little more than you think you're going to get. It's like when you're selling a car, right? If you want $10,000 for your car, you're not going to list it for $10,000. You're going to list it for $12,000. And this way, when the buyer comes to look at it, you negotiate. He works you down on the price. You end up, say you settle for $10,000 or $11,000. You made a good deal on your car. You got what you wanted, and the buyer thinks they got a really good deal. That's the same thing here, negotiation. One important thing to point out here, guys, when Trump was asked about the need for more stimulus, he said, I don't know, it depends. Okay, that is a good sign because it's not a no, right? I mean, he truly believes that we need more stimulus. I mean, it's obvious. I mean, you can't argue that point. The Republicans are just more focused on how much and when and for what. For instance, this bill includes $1 trillion for state government and local and tribal government bailout. Okay, they refer to that as funding, but in reality, it's a bailout. And that's what Trump is saying, that he does not believe in bailing out states that were mismanaged and ill-prepared for the situation. That's their view on this. So that is something that will probably get taken out. I mean, I personally think $1 trillion will go a lot farther in the hands of the people and small businesses. That's what's going to grow the economy. Not refund the states so they could pave the roads. You know what I mean? Like, that's just one example of many, and I don't want to get too far into it because that will just get too dragged out, but you get the idea. The point is that they're going to take things out that they don't believe in, and in my opinion, I think it's going to be a large chunk of this thing. Now, I really hope some form of this bill ends up becoming a real thing. I personally could see more stimulus being one of them, whether it's a stimulus check or extending unemployment or other things like that. But the point is on that is getting the money to the people. So I want to see more of that, but also more funding for small businesses, because here's the thing. If the businesses don't stay open, then people do not have a place to spend their money. So those things go hand in hand. So those are the most important things. I mean, at least what I see, those are the most important things right now is people need money to survive right now. People need money to spend and stimulate the economy, but they also need places to do that. Now, guys, really important, whatever happens here, whatever happens with this bill, if it gets passed or not, do not get discouraged if this thing doesn't go through, and do not lose faith that you will not get more stimulus and aid, because that is not the case here, okay? This is not the only bill out there. It's not like this or nothing. Okay, there's going to be more opportunities. I mean, in the past month alone, we've seen probably 5 or 6 other proposed bills out there. I honestly, I lost count. I made a video on every single one of them, but I I honestly lost count because there have been so many. I mean, those proposals were just way too far out there, way too unrealistic. Don't get me wrong. They sound really, really good. Very enticing, right? But look what they settled for. I mean, this is their proposal. This is their official proposal. Look what they settled for. After hearing for the past month about getting $2,000 every single month for 6 months or a year or whatever, right? Look what they settled for. $1,200 check. Here you go. So the way I see it is those proposals were to put in place to hype you up, gain attention and popularity, and then at the end of the day, they just let you down. But here's the deal now. Those proposals were extremely expensive. The top two were $8.5 trillion and $12.6 trillion. There's no way that would pass. And if you don't believe me, go to the description below and watch those videos to see how much those bills actually were. It gives you a full breakdown, okay? But their method behind this was to create these ridiculous out there proposals, and this way everybody has in their mind, wow, this is gonna cost $10 trillion, it's gonna cost $12 trillion. And then when you actually release your actual thing and have only $3 trillion, you park that $3 trillion next to $12 trillion, all of a sudden it doesn't sound so bad, does it? So for the past month, you've been getting teased, misled, and overexcited with all these magic solve-all solutions. And then at the end of the day, they come up with something that's just a small fraction of it. So what's to come out of this bill? I honestly have no idea, guys, because it's just too all over the place. But what I do know is this bill will not pass the way it is. It will get altered in different ways. It's just the way things work. Nothing just gets passed the way you present it. I could definitely see a lot of things being taken out in a slimmed down version. As far as when, you know, here's the deal, guys. Going to the House today, which is Friday, all right? After that, it's got to go through the Senate, and they haven't even announced when they're going to do that. It has to pass the House first. And then after that, it passes the Senate, and then after that, it goes to the President. This thing takes weeks. It'll take at least a month, possibly 2 months to see this money. Whatever it ends up being, because by the time it goes through and by the time it passes, it could be at least a month, but then think about it. Now they got to start sending out payments. Look what happened with the first stimulus check. Something to keep in mind. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments below. I love getting your feedback, and I read and respond to every single one. If you enjoyed this video or found it helpful, then definitely subscribe. Help me grow my channel, and don't forget to smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. It really helps out my video and my channel grow tremendously. I'd really appreciate it. I also post here every single day, so come back if you want to see future videos. And with that, I'd just like to wish everybody to stay safe and stay healthy. And if you're still waiting on your money, whether it's unemployment or your stimulus check or whatever, just hang in there, be patient, and stay strong, guys. Good things will come your way soon, but all you can do right now is just wait. With that, thank you for watching. I'm Jim Leadus, and I hope to see you on the next one.